There we go. Hey guys, how are you? You know us. He's the JJ on the PGM. Um, hasn't been it's been a bit of a while, hasn't it, JJ? We haven't got together for a wee bit.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I know that we wasn't it sometime in June, the beginning of June, or I don't even know. I think, or I'm lost myself, so so I'm just glad that we're back at doing this now. So yeah,
um,
what do we?
we should do this more regularly. I know we've kept it a little fortnightly or monthly, but we should do it more regularly.
Like every
So
2 weeks, you say?
maybe every 2 weeks and stuff like that. So I
I'm
mean, there is
down
a
with that.
yeah. I mean, uh, there is a little bit of news. I'll say this on air. I think I'll say it nicely on air. Um, uh, uh, Not the whole details that Joji and I were talking about, but I'm going to keep it very respectful to Celestis and I. Um, Two pommies are now on ice. Putting on ice, which is a nice thing to say. We need to do something about some things new of our channels, and that's great. I mean, you know, I'll just leave it there. So, how are you, JJ? How are you
I
getting
am
on?
doing good. We actually have Plastic Snot Goblin and Linda
Oh,
who
you
are
know,
back with us. Who I'm glad to see them because they were here last time when we were talking, and yeah, we got some stuff that we're gonna discuss about, especially right now that we have San Diego Comic Con and some unveils that we're gonna talk about. And
how
just
they do?
before we
Oh,
start, I just want to say it's sad to hear about the two pommies not happening anymore at PGM. You guys were very funny. I hope that this ice will melt and you guys are back at it again. But right now, you still have this friend here that'll
yeah.
want to do this nerd talk from the other side of the world. So I'm down for that. And if you guys haven't heard Plastic Snot and Linda, well, we're thinking about it. We're gonna talk more about it, but we want to go a little bit further to where we might do this as a regular base every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I really miss talking with PGM and enjoying these stuff. We also have Goldvig. Hello. So yeah, so I hope Two Palmies comes back in time, but things
Nice.
happen for a reason.
Yeah, they do have them for a reason. There is a little bit more detail, but I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to upset. So
No,
so
no, no. Respect for you and respect for Salacious. Salacious is a wonderful person,
yeah,
or
so
wonderful monkey lizard. I'm sorry, and whatever is between y'all two, it's something. I mean, it happens, and
it's
as long
nothing
as you
bad.
guys,
It's
exact.
nothing
Okay, there
bad.
you go.
It's nothing bad. It
There you
absolutely is
go.
nothing bad. We're still friends. We're still friends, but it's nothing bad. It's um,
Another thing, another note before we start into our conversations, PGM.
yeah.
I don't know I don't know if you were to hear his music, but fortunate news is that we lost Tony Bennett today.
Oh, okay.
Um, he
All
passed
right.
away at the age of 96. So, uh, RIP for Tony Bennett. I did like some of his music, and well,
A
we
great.
pray that
We,
everything's
we kept.
good
Yeah,
with his
we
family.
sometimes we sometimes over here. I don't know. We do or not. I don't know. We say that it's a great innings, 96. So it sounds
Hmm.
awful, but it's you know.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's awful. I mean, I've always heard the saying is, and I don't want to go off subject, but
No,
just the saying is that when someone's born, you should be crying for them because they're entering a world that's a little crazy, and when they leave this world, you should be happy because now they get to rest.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I gotta say, change a little subject, and may you rest in peace, Mr. Tony Bennett. Uh, um, did a lot for the music industry and a nice crooner kind of a voice. I must say, I thank you for you could say the regulars really, Linda and Plastic Snot Goblin, and go figure to keep on joining us here at the Nerd Talk.
yes,
So yeah, thanks for that, guys.
yeah, we're
Uh,
glad that you guys are here. We thought that
Yeah.
nobody was going to show up because there's a lot of live streams going on. But hey, Thousand Ghosts is here.
How are you, mate?
Ah,
Thanks,
how you
mate.
doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Ghosty. G'day, mate.
Hello.
G'day, mate. Anyway, you don't get
Well,
that
you know what
reference.
he has his own. Since you have your own, persona of good day, mate. Then I guess I should add my own. ¿Qué pasó, vato? Or something like that. ¿Cómo estás, vato?
Why
Yeah.
not? Why not? Why not?
Right.
Uh,
So
well, that's Australian, actually. I'm a Kiwi, so it's probably a
you're a
little bit more.
Kiwi.
Yeah.
I love kiwis. I love them kiwis. Them
Um,
fruits are delicious.
I guess you could say we're talking about the SDCC today,
Mhm.
and some of the but we'll get to that. But the first one that you brought up was the in the green room was the writer's strike, right? So um, the conversation's been swirling around probably Hollywood for now months now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 3 months, 4 months now, I think.
The
I
um,
believe. And it just seems to be getting a little bit worse because now you have a lot of the artists or actors joining in with the writers to get paid, and I guess you can't. I don't know if it's worse, it's good or bad. I mean, it might be good for them to do that so they can get more money, or it's bad because then the industry gets hit for it, and then like San Diego Comic Con got hit because now they don't have panels for the movies after July 1st, like some people said. And I don't think San Diego Comic Con was really prepared for this to happen. Although I am liking how it's going because it reminds me of an old school San Diego Comic Con where the movies were not there at the times. I mean, it feels like a Comic Con right now because we're seeing more about artists and people that make just artists with comics, artists with toys like Todd McFarlane. They're all coming out now, and then you have Funko and all. I mean, we're seeing San Diego Comic Con as 2023 as one of the Comic Cons that's going to have the most exclusives in a long time. Excuse me, from other Comic Cons, and I just feel like they're filling the gaps with that because of the situation that's going on, which is sad in a way, but at the same time, it's kind of good that they're going back to that old school, you know, roots. I've always enjoyed, the trailers that were coming out for upcoming movies, but I wanted to always see the toys and the statues and the hot toys and stuff. That was my main thing for
can I
San
can
Diego.
I give can I give you my take on this? Because if we're talking
Sure.
about that, it's a fact that yes, it gives more uh, let's say airtime to the comic book artists and the action figure, you know, reveals and stuff like that, and Hasbro
Hmm.
and Mattel and NECA and stuff like that. It gives more, a shining light instead of actually having the celebrities or the actors there. I think it's great in a way.
Hmm.
In my opinion, I think they may have been warned about this prior to this writer's strike happening, or uh, the actors not being there. That's my take on it. I mean, they would have been forewarned about the actor strike and the writer's strike, and not having them in the foreground, right, of the comic cons,
Hmm.
right. So, there is good and bad with this, but it's also probably majorly good, I reckon, for the
Yeah.
reveals for the action figures and having comic book artists actually being have another forefront of people
Oh,
getting their
definitely.
comic book signed. So
Yeah, look,
it's
look what he look what Ghost says, it says classic Comic Con. Then with Toy Fair kind of going away, San Diego Comic Con has really replaced it, and New York Comic Con. And then look how he keeps going. And then Linda says, I think if writers, actors for the straight to stream movie series want more, do better writing and acting. There is a lot of crap out there. Uh, yeah, there is. I mean, you're right. But at the same time, some of these great writers or good writers that make good stories don't get paid enough. So that's kind of the hard part. Keep on
G'day.
collecting.
How are you, mate?
Another, ¿Qué pasó, vato? That's gonna be the new thing. He says, "Good day, mate." I say, "¿Qué pasó, vato?"
I'm stealing the
Actually,
Australian g'day, mate.
he's actually one of our regulars too. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming, KOC. I really appreciate that.
But I mean, to actually to answer, sorry, Linda, to answer that question for me, that yes, I've got to agree with Linda. There is a lot of crap out there, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Agreed.
thing that's the thing that Bob. I'm going to say this: Bob Iger's not really liked at the moment. Neither is Zaslav at the moment with the actors and the writers as well. I mean,
Yeah.
and to be quite honest with you, JJ, and everybody out there, the story is, and the truthful story is that these big corporations and the big guys are becoming celebrities. Bob Iger is becoming a celebrity, right, in his own forthright of arrogance, and
Yeah.
right, and so is Zaslav. They're becoming more and more involved in this zeitgeist of being a celebrity, where they should be only a corporate head. They should be
I
only
call.
the actors. They should
Yeah.
only be feeding the writers, right,
I
and not
call
being.
that the. I know what you're saying because I call that the Jerry Jones syndrome. And what I mean by the Jerry Jones syndrome is that Jerry Jones is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys for football. And ever since he purchased the Cowboys and they won their Super Bowls, it's all about him. And when it comes to football, I mean, you hear a few other owners like Amir Khan, Robert Kraft from the Patriots, but it's hard, and Mike, what's his name, Mike Davis, but it's rare that you hear these other owners. But when it comes to one owner, it's Jerry Jones. He's there. It has to be about him. So now that's why I say it's the Jerry Jones effect or syndrome, because they're doing the same things now. Just like how you said with Bob Iger, how you said about Kathleen Kennedy. It's like they're coming out and now they're talking like if they're the it factor, and it's like, no, you should be behind uh behind the camera. If you want to come out and you're behind the scenes, but not in major things like how you're talking about it. Another few others are like Greg Nicotero, who did The Walking Dead, and Tom Savini. They were actors and then they became propsmen for the zombies and stuff, and now they're becoming, and then you're right. I mean, it does melt down to where they're forgetting that they're just senior directors, but also there's also some effects into that, like Disney, good example. And this is my opinion, so I don't want anybody to get mad about it, but instead of focusing,
I'll get mad about it, and then I'll deal with it.
but you'll probably agree with me. Instead of focusing on like Linda says, crap. Instead of focusing on great storytelling, they focus more on diversification, on gender roles, on racism. That we're gonna switch this up instead of just saying, you know what, we're gonna make a great story. They want to do a woke thing, and it's like, look, you can have your woke thing in there, but just don't focus on that. Focus on a story. And that's the thing that we want to see, is just a great story. I know that times are changing and all that, but nobody cares. And that's the thing, is that when we want to go see a movie, we want to go see a movie that's not political or that's happening in the out there in the real world. we come and see movies to have an enjoyment, to forget about the real life. But if you start adding these things into that, it becomes crap, like Linda says.
Yeah, I agree, and that's where you've got again going back to, let's say, the example of, I'm going to say, Bob Iger, because it's a pros and cons with him at the moment. I'll put that example with that kind of. I do agree, and that's why. I mean, let's kind of ignore what he actually said about the actors and writers kind of thing, because he did say something about that really nastily in a comment, right, which was
Mm-hmm.
verbatim for him. Let's ignore that. But the good thing about Iger, that yes, he's. I mean, people are going to get really angry, and they have. He's taken quite a lot of things off Disney Plus, and he will do. All right, right. But the
Yeah.
fact remains, the story is that he wants quality over quantity, especially in the Marvel sense of the word. Right,
Mm-hmm.
uh, storylines have been sometimes crap, hit and miss. Right, so he may have seen that and said, "Look, we've got to actually just reevaluate, and let's actually nearly clean slate this, almost clean slate this, and
Mm-hmm.
get back to quality over quantity, because there's too much quantity and there's not enough quality." And he's right on that kind of sense, right? So I do agree. Yes, diversity, inclusion, right? Yes, forget about the woke. We don't need that. We don't need that at all, right? Because
Yeah.
there's just too much of it. We just need good stories, good films, right? And but the things, we're not going to get that for a wee while because the actors and the writers are on strike. So there's the
Mm-hmm.
conundrum. There's the conundrum to this, right? And there's no. I'm sorry to say this. Uh, there's no ifs or buts here. There's no ifs or buts. They've got to get what they want, writers and actors. They've got to get paid for what they do because it's hard work. Not. I'm not looking at the A-listers here, JJ. I'm looking at
The
the the
B-listers,
the,
the
the B-listers, or the ones under the A-listers, who do a hard day's job on a set, right?
TV shows. Yeah.
TV shows, they need to get paid, right? Really need to get paid. So if you're a SAG actor out there, because it's mainly SAG actors out there who've gone on strike, right? Which I would. Nobody knows how long this is going to go. This actors' strike or writers' strike. This writers' strike's been going on for a wee bit longer than the actors'
Yeah.
strike. The thing is that what Zaslav and Iger has says, and I'll, I'll weave this in here for you guys to know. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the sense I'm getting from Iger and Zaslav, right, is really mean. It's to do with starving. Let's starve these writers and actors out, right, so they can get back to work. I think that's fucking awful, absolutely bloody awful, right? So
Yeah.
to treat them like that, right? You're big corporate guys, mate. Go to the actors and writers and go to the conference table and work the bloody thing out instead of actually
Yeah.
starving writers and actors, right? They don't need that
Well, I
shit.
mean, they don't well, they want to, like you said, which is, it sounds really bad, but if you're gonna starve your writers and actors or whatever you said, the way you say it, don't forget that's gonna end up hitting them. It's like they say, you okay. It's like a good example. You can be the head honcho for Walmart, and you have all these employees that work for you under you, but if you treat them like crap, your business of Walmart ain't gonna make it because you're not gonna have people working for you. So it's the same thing that these guys need to think about. Like, yeah, they might have all the money in the world that they think they do, but hey, that money could come and go. And well, and I guess that's going back to what we were talking about. I guess one good thing I can say is that it's a pro that we don't have upcoming movies being shown at San Diego Comic Con, because one of the things I've always noticed with recent Comic Cons is that we get to see an awesome trailer, and we're like, oh, I can't wait for next year, woo! And then that movie comes in, and we're like, man, that movie was crap. You
Well,
know?
the thing is with that, with yeah, I remember those days. Thing is with that, JJ, there is another circumstance in that. So, in the actors strike really as well, being the AI kind of feeling, and
Oh yeah, let's not forget about the AI thing. Yeah.
being replaced by an AI, an artificial intelligence is not a good look. Especially for a struggling actor, where they can just replace you as with an AI instead of having the real thing. So there is that kind of argument and question as well. So for not getting paid correctly to the AI debacle they're having as well. So
Hey,
um,
yeah. Hey,
family
you
the
know
right.
what? Now that you think about it, the last episode of She-Hulk was actually telling you what was gonna happen
Yeah.
with
Uh,
Kevin.
I remember watching this film called Return of the King. There was a marriage scene. Yeah. That's yeah. Um, yeah. It's. I'm not a SAG actor. I'm only an extra actor. I'm only here in New Zealand. I'm far from being one of those actors who are having a hard time. I haven't had a job for ages. I'm back with my talent agent JJ, but still waiting on a project here in New Zealand to actually be cast as extras or anything. Right, but
That's
I
awesome.
I do feel for the SAG actors walking off jobs as well, and having to strike. So I'm more for that. But for the projects they're in the can at the moment, they're safe. So we get to watch those. But
Hmm.
I yeah. I do again. I do feel for the writers as well. They don't want to be replaced by AI as well with scripts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what the challenge that they're having is as well, to actually be having their work ruined by an AI replacement. Um, that's kind of really not nasty, but frightening to actually come up with. Come up. You that's what I'm going to say. So.
What does Linda say? I have little sympathy about being replaced by AI. Manufacturing industry has been getting replaced by robots for decades.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, you could say that too about cars in Detroit, right? They got replaced by machines. Half their factory has gone machines, and half their
Hmm.
workforce has been waved goodbye. No jobs left. So
Look, I don't know how the McDonald's are in New Zealand, but look at over here. They're being replaced.
mm,
But I mean, you don't even have to order from in front of a person anymore. You
yeah,
just do it yourself, or
mm.
eventually a robot's gonna be like, "What would you like?" We're gonna see the Michael Jackson on a TV, like in Back to the Future 2, to asking us what we want to eat.
That's great seeing that.
Yeah, but going back to San Diego Comic Con,
Yep, yep.
I think it's a new step. I mean, this is gonna. I mean, still a lot of people went to it. I know that inflation's kind of taken a little effect to some other people, but at the same time, I feel that this is maybe the way. If things are gonna happen the way they're gonna happen, maybe it's gonna go to where if they do so well this year, they might even just say, "Well, we don't want to get a lot of people in for movies and movie panels and all that, and for the next upcoming ones, we'll just get a few and then focus more on exclusives and this and that, and just have different ideas of what they're gonna do." I mean, I think that's the way to go. You know?
I know. I mean, it could be yes. It could be that, or they could be. I hate to say it. It could be separate. entity and a one big block thing, but it's a moot point because they are really
Well,
separate in an entity
well, in
anyway.
a way, if you think about it, PG, it's already happening because of D23 that they're trying to do like their own Comic Con in a way with D23 showing all the stuff. Because a lot of the stuff they used to show, they
Yeah.
used to do it in San Diego Comic Con. Now they're getting away from Comic Con and doing D23 more. So
Yeah, exactly right. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, so that's. Yeah, I mean that's it's their. Why? Yeah, I mean they should take that platform, D23, and leave the San Diego Comic Con to actually be action figure orientated.
yeah, action figure or games, video games, and I mean I know you have E3, which is for video games, but you can do a little bit of video games or like hey, Off World,
How are you, mate?
¿qué pasó, vato? See, I mean, Ghost agrees, and then you have E3 with the video games. But if you do like the comic platforms and the exclusive platforms with Sideshow, Hot Toys, Funko, all these studios, I think you can also add like maybe I know Hasbro owns them, but like you can start adding. One of the things that I truly miss that a lot of people don't do anymore is board games or card games, and maybe they should implement that more into which I know they do, but show it off a little bit more, make different ideas with new games, and I think that'll be great.
Keep on collecting. Matt just said that. Pete, did I mention Andrew and I were invited to SDCC by Mattel to watch their panels? Blown away.
Blown
Wish
away.
it was gone. Matt had something from Mattel, so he did a review on the Revelations figure, Kevin Smith,
The motherboard.
motherboard.
Yeah,
Check it
that
out.
was the one. Yeah, that
Um,
piece looks nice. It
mm,
looks very nice.
and they got invited, which was a good honor. Two Aussie boys, Aussie lads, getting invited to STCC. So,
Oh, I wish they would have gone. That would have been nice for them.
yeah. So salutations. Oops, why is that coming up? Where
Oh, Off World, yeah.
well,
Nanu.
Off world. Hey Adam, everybody's saying hello, Adam. So that's right. Yeah, it's what's that? Hang on. So, here we go.
It
So
was for too late to get the. Oh man, yeah, that happens.
I mean, you have a lot of cons over there, right? You have a lot of.
Oh, I mean, I mean, because it's not also just those. I think the three main ones are San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, and Chicago Comic Con. And then you have all the Wizard World cons that do all these other ones like Austin Comic Con, and you have the Dallas Expo, you have Joe Fest, you have there's that new one that a lot of the people from the YouTube community went to, and that's ICCC.
right,
I think it's
yeah,
3 C's,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's starting to make it kind of big. And then you have the Kentucky Comic Con. I mean, there's so many that it's just like whoa,
I mean, we've got one big event, and it's called Armageddon. So we have celebrities come here, actors. We have I think action figures as well. But we only get it one time a year in Wellington or Auckland in this country. So that's about it. So I suppose we're just too far away sometimes to have it regularly. So
well, it's because you all have those active volcanoes we're all scared of too.
no, they're dormant. JJ.
See, I know a little bit of New Zealand fact.
Yeah. The
I'm
horrible
kidding, my
facts. We're
friend.
all doing, so you can come over here.
No, y'all got that super volcano like we do.
Yes, you're probably talking about White Island volcano, aren't you? So
Yeah, and we have that Yosemite Sam one. That's the super volcano, but yeah,
so,
tomato, tomato.
yeah, it's
But
that's that's off our coast of New Zealand, so that's on
oh,
White Island, so it's near New Zealand, but it's dangerous. So yeah, but it's yeah.
nah, as long as you're safe, that's what matters.
In New Zealand, we don't have volcanoes that are active.
Yeah.
Been dormant for decades and years, but centuries. Uh, what's that? Yeah, okay. So hard to get plans together. So,
Yeah.
um,
He said that I think Thousand Ghosts went. Chris went to ICCCC. He said it was so much fun.
maybe one day, JJ, I'll come over there and go to a couple of cons. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mind checking out. So, um,
You want to talk about the other topic that you're into, the Star Wars thing that had been presented?
yes, let's talk about the ghosts, shall we?
Yeah.
Um, which I found out today, JJ, that it would cost New Zealanders, if we did have Hasbro Pulse here, $1,099.
Wow. It's about $500 here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but Star Wars HasLab loves that 500. Where do I
Yeah.
live? KOC, I live in Texas, in the United States. So, but you know what? Not surprised that it was going to be the Ghost. I was expecting that. What I wasn't what I what I
So somebody actually
I
shouted out. Somebody actually shouted out beforehand. Um,
yeah. What
um,
I was what I wasn't expecting that it was going to be for 3/4 inch. I thought they were gonna do it for 6 inch, but
6 inch. Shit. I
it
mean,
looked like it was for 6 inch, but I guess not. But right now they're halfway there. They're at 56.36%
yeah,
of making it.
yeah.
They only need 8,000 to fund it, and I mean it's almost there. I mean it's doing way better than the Rebel lightsaber, way better
Oh,
than the Rancor.
yeah, exactly. I mean, because it's a ship, right? It's a ship.
Yeah,
It's just Rebels was good. I enjoyed the Rebels. I mean, I watched
I
all.
did too. I thought it was great.
What people are kind of actually saying that it's the Rebels cartoon action figures and ghosts. So um, I wouldn't worry about that at all because it could probably double as the movie Ghost ship. So to be quite honest with you, so I don't,
Well, you know what? They're finally. I think they're finally getting their chops together. Because you're it's for the vintage collection, of course, and they haven't done the Rebels like Zeb and Kanan Jarrus as vintage collection. Go Johnny go. And what's up, Blue? How you doing? So I like the way they're going with it. It's the Ghost. It comes with the little ship. I forgot what it was called. Comes with Hera Syndulla, and she comes in the card. And then your tier 1, 2, and 3. It's Ezra. I know it's Zeb. I think Zeb's the last one, and then Kanan Jarrus is I think your second one.
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
Ezra 1, Kanan 2, and then Zeb, which I still think they should have added a fourth tier for Sabine and Chopper or something like that. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But they brought out the ship, something that some people wanted, but at the same time, they're bringing it out
Much better.
almost
So,
close
on
to
that,
Ahsoka.
interrupt you here. Sorry, JJ,
Go
interrupt.
ahead. Go ahead.
999 in your country there. Here, Linda is $1,099 in New Zealand. So, sorry, go on, JJ.
No. Like what I was saying is that since we're having the Ahsoka series coming out and some of those characters are coming out, we'll probably see the ghosts. More than likely. I mean, we see Hera flying, so they're doing it right to where they're bringing that figure or that vehicle out at a great time.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
Again, I'm still shocked that they didn't do it for 6 inch, but still, people are buying 3 inch Star Wars figures, so it's not a bad deal. It is something new. We haven't had the Ghost out before, so I think it was great that they went that route, and especially with Ahsoka coming out. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy for. I mean, I'm happy to see that it's half. It's more than halfway. I
I,
mean, believe me, I am.
I mean, it looks really impressive. I'm heading towards because I have great friends that you probably know of as well as only one Kenobi and Bosk's Bounty.
Yeah.
Um, uh, fabulous influences. I'm heading to the TVC color route, and I thought it's brilliant. Um, 6 inch, it would be just massive, JJ. Six
Yeah, I
inch would
would.
be freaking massive. I could live in the ghost ship then. So if it was 6 inch, so,
Forget buying a house. You just need the Ghost.
exactly.
You'll
Um,
crawl in there. Well, see,
um,
I wasn't. You know what I was thinking of? I mean, yeah, it would be massive, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would have to be that massive because I mean, they did do a snow speeder for 6 inch, and back then, this was years ago, and we didn't think nothing of it. We were kids, but whenever we would buy a vehicle, instead of in the cartoons, you would see like 10 people come out of the vehicle. But when we had the toy, you would only be able to fit 3 or 2 figures. So I don't think if you were to done a 6 inch Ghost, I don't think it would have to be that big. You can just add in whatever tiers you get out of the characters. You can fit all 4 of them in there. You know.
oh yes, that new cat slayer. That's huge. It's absolutely
Oh
huge.
yeah, the cat's layer, the layer. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's by Mattel, right? I think.
yeah. Thundercats. The Thundercats. Yeah,
Yeah, Thundercat, the
um,
cat's layer. Yeah,
that's huge.
yeah.
Absolutely huge. I mean, uh, I'm saying to myself, JJ, where would you put that? 'Cause it's huge. Um,
I'll
it could
move
be
my
my
bed out
door,
of the
it could be
room.
my door arc. It could be my door arc when people come and visit me.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big.
Oh,
But right now, I think with so much redone and people don't want to buy it. I think that some of these things, the bigger is the some things. I'm not saying all, but bigger is the way to wanting to get people to really want to be enthused by it. It just depends on what it is. I mean, because I know Mattel barely got it fun, but like the WCW stage, you know, that was so much for that. But I mean, you can always build your own stage for wrestling.
yeah.
But I mean, you
Depends on
know,
the buyer, though. It depends on the buyer and it depends on the collector. I mean, you're mainly, I collect 6 inch as well, right? So,
mhm,
I mean, you're mainly a 6 inch, right? So you may have preferences on maybe doing a ghost, which is a 6 inch ship, right? Um,
mhm,
and when I do my art, when I get round to it, when I'm doing right, I like to be bigger and better doing art because I can, do it that way. But I'm more inclined in some cases, in my mind, because I only live in an apartment. Right,
mhm.
I'm good with it being I'm good with
33
being
quarter inch.
3 and 3/4 inch. So um, and I
Hey,
don't
G
blame.
Force.
I don't get a G-force, mate. I don't blame you on wanting it to be a 6 inch. I think it would be fantastic to have a
Yeah.
ghost inch, right? So, um,
Again, they're not doing wrong. I mean, because like I
no,
said,
no, no, exactly
people
right.
are collecting the 3/4 inch, which is great. But I guess it also just depends on what brand it is. Like, good example, and again, like I said, we have our opinions. But
Yep.
for GI Joe doing HasLab, I think it was great that they did the Hiss and the
Yes.
Dragonfly.
Oh, yeah,
I
beautiful.
know, I know they succeeded with the Sky Striker, which was for 3/4
Yes,
inch,
another beautiful
but
vehicle. Oh my goodness.
it's not what's in right now, and I know a lot of people that bought it and they're selling it because they're like, well, it's for the 3/4 inch. I rather have and I'm one of them. I sold it, I never opened it, and I sold it. I
Yeah.
got more money out of it, and that's cool. I thought it was a great figure. Don't get me wrong, but if I wanted a Sky Striker that's going to be for 3/4 inch, I want an 80s Sky Striker, not a new one. But like the Hiss, and then San Diego Comic Con just showed a new new excuse me, new troopers for the 788 Hiss Army group, and they're all like the Range Viper. He's in red, and I don't remember who are the other ones, but they were on red because they're going to be a part of that Hiss tent group. And it's like, wow, see, that's where GI Joe Classified needs to go, because right now that's what's in. Retro Joe's, it failed twice. They tried to do GI Joe Retro without the O rings, it failed. They tried to do GI Joe with O rings, it's kind of failed. They haven't put anything out there anymore. Because if
Right.
anything, people want vintage. I mean, I have them back there. I'm buying the 80s and 90s GI Joes. If you bring another Duke or Cobra Commander out right now, a few people do want it, but in my case, that I used to have the old school ones. Give me the old school ones. So with
Right.
HasLab, Classified has to go more for the 6 inch. In this case, with Star Wars, we were brought up. Star Wars has been always 3/4 inch, and then they started making the 6 inch, a few years ago. But it seems like people love the 3/4 inches more for Star Wars than the 6 inch. Not that
It's a
they're
remember,
terrible,
it's a
but
world building thing, JJ. It's a world
Mhm.
building thing. So that's maybe what people are getting into. It's a world building thing. 6 inches is more of a posing thing, or
Yeah.
living in the box thing. Mind you, TVC is, you can say that as well, but this is me. It's a world building thing. So you can actually world build in 3 3/4.
Mhm.
So you can actually, put it over there, and it aesthetically looks really good when it looks like a fighter's coming down and attacking another
Yeah.
one, right? That kind of thing,
Agreed.
right? So,
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, agreed.
where a 6 inch, you can take it out of the box if you're an out of box collector and pose it, right? Right, and
Yeah.
that maybe with another thing, you can do scenes with it, you can do world building with it, but it's not necessarily, it's the room you got to have to actually pose it,
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean,
That
yeah, you're
comes
right
in.
about that, because I don't expect Hasbro to make a 14-foot USS flag for the 6 inch GI Joes when the old school one was 7 feet. It's like, oh
Don't
shoot,
give me
like,
any ideas because they bloody will.
well, I mean, 14 foot. Nah, I don't know about that. See, uh, like that PG. If they would have done the USS flag as a HasLab instead of Sky Striker, then most definitely it would have worked. And that, I mean, not that the Sky Striker didn't work, because it worked, but I think you would have had more people wanting to keep that USS flag than the Sky Striker for the 3/4 inch Joes, because that's something that's hard to find. Hey, Ed Five, how you doing?
All right. So I'll go back to that. If I, what's Linda saying? I was saying,
I
g'day,
wish
Deb.
Black Series would do an ATRT with maybe an option of the 212th, the 501st Legion, or the 442 paint schemes and riders.
I don't know
Jimmy,
anything.
have a good night, Chris. Take it easy.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks,
Thanks for
Chris, for
stopping
coming
by.
in.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's welcome. Robin, good to see you, Chris. Really good to see you.
Hasta la vista, baby. So,
He's saying that too.
what are you talking about?
No, Dan. G'day, Dan. Off you go, JJ.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. I guess about the 3 3/4 inch and
Oh, is
6 inch are
Gilster?
more posable.
Oh, sorry, JJ. Gilster's just popped in.
Gilster's here? I
Yeah.
don't see him
Gilster?
anywhere.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Gilster. Sorry, Gilster. ¿Cómo estás? Hola, Otto. ¿Cómo estás?
Just popped in. I didn't even see you. Sorry, mate. Now I saw you. How are you, mate?
How you doing, Gilster? Sorry about that. We didn't even see your name. We apologize for that.
Yeah. So, like a ghost, he pops in. Yeah. So.
But you know what?
Right here.
What?
Here. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for you.
Well, so why can't has? I mean, here's a good example. Hot Toys is actually doing vehicles, speeder bikes for those 1/6 scales. Why can't Hasbro do it for? Oh yeah, there's some Scout Troopers with the Scout speeders. They made the DeLorean. They've made the Batmobile. I mean, and they've made both. Like they made I think they made the Tumbler and the '89 Batman Batmobile. And then there's some other. I think what else? Something else. I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, okay, if you guys are making these for 1/6 scales, damn, well, you might as well Hasbro, man. You need to start making some. Of course, again, the size it's gonna be tough, but the room for it, like you say, but if they really want to do things right with HasLab, it has to be sometimes 6-inch figures. I feel, depending on the brand, again.
Yeah, I mean, for me anyway. For me, living in the apartment, it is the room, right? For other people, if you've got room, yes, go for it. I mean, get your wish list. Get your wish list ready, and say that I would rather have that on 6-inch, and right, because I've got room to display it.
Yeah.
But for me, I just can't, and so it's
no,
mainly,
I get it.
It's mainly world building in some, in some sense of the words, because I can actually just do a scene from a movie and have 3 3/4 figures on there, and do a scene and put up on my wall, right? I'd rather do that, and then I still buy 6-inch stuff. I've got things that I need to unbox and stuff like that. So it's
So going back to this ghost, so let me ask you, and you probably saw the pictures, but was this a fan's choice to decide? Because I saw that they had a sand crawler, they had the Ewok village, and I don't remember what else it was, and then the ghost. I mean, how were they doing that, or what was that about, or what are the other ones about?
I think it was. They. It could have been a fan's choice. It could have been something like that, because they were. You're right. They were discussing about the sand crawler. They were discussing about this and that. But I think it came down to, really, my take on this, JJ, was that Ahsoka was coming out, right? And the fact that the ghost was actually going to be prevalent in the Ahsoka series, right? That they probably went for that. And I know it's on Rebels. I know it's the Rebels kind of ghost, because they've got all the Rebels cards of the characters, the cartoon characters, right?
Yeah.
But that also, I think, for me, I think it doubles as to Ahsoka series with, with her flying the ship. Forgotten the character.
Hera Syndulla.
Syndulla, right? Because she's in the ship, right?
Yeah.
Right, flying it. So for me, I think they're focusing. You know this, JJ. I think everybody knows this. They're only focusing. HasLab's only focusing on uh, the future projects like Ahsoka at the moment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
whereas other OTs want the Sandcrawler, and funny enough, there was a Sandcrawler on the Mandalorian, so there could have been a question, and why didn't you give us the off-world
The Sandcrawler.
Sandcrawler, right?
Yeah.
So there is that argument, but the thing is that they're looking into the future. This is my opinion, guys. This is only my opinion, right? They're looking into the future HasLabs to actually say, oh, this is coming up. The Ahsoka's coming up. It's got the ghost in it. We'll do that, and so but we'll give you the cartoon characters on card first, and then we'll give you the characters in Ahsoka, and then
Yeah, because Ahsoka's gonna be what I guess you can say Rebels 2.0
yeah,
in a
it
way.
is. It is really.
Which I'm wondering. I was gonna say I'm wondering about this. Will we see Hera Syndulla's son in the live
Yeah. Oh
action?
yes. Oh, real. Yeah, it's a good. That's a good point. Absolutely. Hopefully.
Because remember he came out at the end. He came out at the end of Rebels.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Green
mean, and
Hill.
then
So
so I think that'd be cool to see her son. I mean, because I don't think we've seen anything of her son come out,
no,
right?
no, be a good addition. Be a really good addition. So
Can you imagine?
um,
What are they called? The hyperdrive whales. What were they called again?
uh,
You know what they're called, Linda, right?
space
Because
whales,
you
you know,
know
kind of space whales or something like that. So
something like that. Can you imagine seeing that in live action? Those one of those that'd be cool to see that in Ahsoka. Like I can't wait for that if you were to show that. And
didn't they show that? They could have actually showed that in a shot. So
well, they shown like the little like there's emblems of them. But they haven't shown like a real one come out and fly like and go into hyperdrive like in the cartoon, you know. What I did like is that we see and this is the cool part is that we're gonna see Hera, we're gonna see Sabine, we might see Ezra, we're gonna see Thrawn. One of the things that that excited us is that we saw Zeb in the Mandalorian series, and when he was talking to I forgot his name, but I was like, oh wow, that's cool because maybe he's gonna have more appearances in Ahsoka, which he was one of my favorite characters in Rebels. Zeb, I liked his story.
yeah, I mean, he was a little bit of a comical character in Rebels. You know, but
Yeah.
he was a hard ass as well. So um, I think that's where this is again. This is my opinion, JJ. Going back to the yes, they've given us carded Rebels figures for the Ghost, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's the Rebel kind of cast and that, right? So
Yeah.
you're right. This could be a 2.0 thing. So we've seen Zeb in the Mandalorian, and that form, right? Right, and we've seen now. Syndulla now and Ahsoka. We've seen Sabine, right? We've seen Rock. What's his name? Chopper, right?
Chopper.
We've seen Sabine. We've seen them now in live action. Okay, so this
Yeah.
ghost will double up as to the ghost in their live action. So you can see where they're going, right? They're killing two birds with one
Yeah.
stone. So
That's great. Yeah, that's what I was saying is that that's the reason why I think it's gonna work because they're bringing it out days before Ahsoka, and I think it's gonna help out a lot for them. I know it's what August 23rd is the release date of
okay, right.
right, so it's almost so they will have if I'm correct on the 23rd it comes out. They should have at least another maybe
Oh,
week or week and a half to actually continue
Hyperspace
selling or continue getting backers for the Ghost. So I feel that it's going to help them out a lot.
Hyperspace
Hyperspace Wells. Thank you. I knew it was something like you said space whales and I said hyperdrive whales, so we were both getting
both nearly there, Jason. Had to be an Australian to get it right, isn't it? Really, so sorry, Dan.
It's all right.
I'm not. I'm just joking. He'll get that.
Yeah, but I'm impressed with it. For me, it's not my. I mean, 500 is a lot. You know, pretty much I paid $100 more for 2 dragonflies for G.I. Joe than just one ghost. You know, but I mean, for anybody who's a Star Wars fan, I mean, it looks like it's gonna get backed. Nah, I'm not. I think it's gonna do justice, and I'm glad because it is a shame that they've lost 2 other ones like the lightsaber, which I don't think the lightsaber should have been a HasLab, the Reva.
No, it should have been. What were they thinking?
Just retail. That should have just been retail. And the Rancor just did not. Just people were not excited, especially for the tier with the diorama just being a little pop.
It was pathetic. It was a pathetic attempt, right, to have a figure of that standing in right for the OT, and then have that tier, right, and that's just
it was
pathetic. Ridiculous. So.
Very ridiculous. I mean,
people would have bought that if they had something really tangible to actually have a bloody good tier, but they didn't. So,
I mean, really, it was already was it $400? I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already expensive for the Rancor, so you could have just done a tier where, if you were gonna do a diorama, you should have just done a diorama where it's a wall with a door, and then you can have a little bit of the top layer of where Jabba the throne you can put the throne on top of it, and then something like that. But of course, they wanted to go cheap and think, and it failed them because nobody backed it. I mean, it didn't get back or it didn't get funded.
Have the bloody Rancor keeper in there. Give us the Rancor bloody keeper. And you need
which one?
The Rancor keeper.
The older one, Return of the Jedi one you saw.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Well, they added him. They added him in. They added him
at the bloody last minute when everybody was actually asking for him.
Yeah, right? I mean, and that's where it was helping to push it a little bit, but it still didn't go through because everybody was like, no, like, and see, this is here's my thing with HasLabs. They do have their pros, but they have their cons. Because a good example, I'm going to go back with the Dragonfly. If the Dragonfly made its fund, if it reached to get the Dragonfly and Wild Bill for $274, I think it's like, okay, that's a little too much, but I still purchased it. I think I would have just purchased one. But since it made 24,000 and we got all 3 tiers or 4 tiers, I always say 4 because I still think backing the vehicle is considered a tier. But if you get the other 3 Joes with it, I think 274 is worth it because then that means that the vehicle is a lot more less than what it is, And with the Ghost, I mean, these guys are gonna make a lot of profit because I have a feeling they're gonna make the tiers. You are getting the figures, and see, this is where I feel like 6-inch could probably be a little bit better. With your tiers, they're all 3/4 inch figures, and they're what, $15 a pop? You say, right? So
over there they are. Over there they are. They're $35 a pop.
Okay, because of the change, right? So, but in United States, they're like about 15 a pop. So you have 3 figures coming out, and so out of that, that's $45. If you could include Harris and Dula, that's $60 that be like just for the figures alone. If the figures were just come out for vintage, the vintage collection. So you're pretty much saying that you're buying the Ghost for $440, which is still kind of, up there. Unlike unlike 6-inch figures. Now imagine if you had 6-inch figures for the Ghost. Let's say it's $500, like they're trying to make it, and you get 4 figures. Well, each figure now here's the Ghost better not like the Razor Crest. But if you were to get 4 of them, each one would be considered $25, right? So give or take $25, and then you take off $100 because it's 4 of them. You're paying the Ghost for $400. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like up and down when it comes to the HasLab, but I guess doing projects like that is going to be the way to go now for bigger stuff. As long as it doesn't get blown up.
I think that was a bit of there's a bit of a shame, wasn't it? Really, that they put out a HasLab Razor Crest, and next minute, what's his name, Rodriguez, actually blows the bloody thing up in another episode. So,
that kind of sucks. I mean, and everybody purchased that, and then when they found that out, they're like, "Well, should I just cancel?" I mean. I don't know.
Well, if it's in your collection, yeah, good on you. I mean, I mean, just stick a pile of ash next to it, right? So,
right.
yeah.
That's kind of.
Can't just, I don't, okay, say something. No, I mean, I've got to say, JJ, I think this SDCC con has gone really good this year. I mean,
so far, yes.
So far, presenting wise with all the figures and stuff like that, good ones coming out. I think some that I like and some that I don't really like.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the G.I. Joe thing? Since you're kind of a collector of G.I. Joe,
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. What I don't like is that they made a character. Don't get me wrong, I like the character. Chuckles is a good character, but to make him a deluxe figure was kind of like, what? Like, why him? Honestly, you're telling me that you went from last year showing Serpentor that with a chariot, like that was a big wow, to this small little box with Chuckles. It's like, what? Personally, my opinion, they should have gone with a 3-pack figure with the 3 characters that we had back in the 80s from the G.I. Joe movie, which was Globulus, Nemesis Enforcer, and Cobra Law Guard. Those 3, or you could add Pythona. That, I think, would have been a better exclusive than just one guy that only came out in the movie and didn't really talk much and shot vehicles down with a little 9mm. He's over here. Oh, I shot it down. Like what? But of course that's a cartoon. As a deluxe package, I mean, I don't get what they're trying to do. It's
I get what they're trying to do with that. I think, and this is again my opinion. Right, agree if you want to, JJ. Right, in this, but
okay.
the Chuckles thing, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
take a look at the Chuckles shirt and pants, right? Okay, and then take a look at the Valleyverse.
The Action Force one. Oh yeah, we all have that.
Right. So
we all know that. I mean,
that's a direct correlation. They're competing with each other.
Condor.
That's my opinion on it. They're competing with each other.
Yeah, no, and I get that, and that's what we all have, that feeling, and I agree with you on that. But to make them a deluxe figure, I was like, come on. Even Gilster just said Dreadnought Gang would have been way better. I mean, damn, and then the worst thing is that, okay, G.I. Joe has Chuckles, Valaverse has Condor. They named him after a freaking bird, and then he looks like Chuckles. Should have just named the dude Giggles. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, Valleyverse is Action Force Giggles, you know. But I see that they did it because of that, which I think was pretty stupid. Yes, I am gonna want the figure. I'm gonna want two of them, but to make it as an exclusive, it should have just been other ones that I think are a little bit more popular than what this Chuckles is. I mean, Chuckles is popular, but not as popular as if you were to get a Doc or a General Hawk. And I know they were showing a Tiger Force Duke, and a lot of people, no, Tiger Force Flint, and a lot of people were not impressed by it. Personally, I like it. I know it's a little bit of a change from the old one, but I know that just some people are not for it. The other line that I'm stepping into with G.I. Joe's Super 7, I think, again, my opinion, and guys, when we think or when we say things, so we don't always say it all the time, but we're gonna mention it a couple of times. This is all based on our opinions. It's not,
Good opinions.
yeah. There's opinion. But what was I gonna say? Oh man, I forgot.
Discussion, really, couldn't you?
That what?
Really, could you just actually just say it's a happy
Oh,
discussion? Sorry.
Super 7. It was Super 7. Super 7 is making the G.I. Joes, and they're making them look like the 80s cartoon G.I. Joes. And a lot of people don't like them. They are pricey, but the way they're making them, they make them look like exactly like the cartoons, and I like that. I mean, it's almost the same thing like NECA's doing with the Ninja Turtles from the old cartoons. They're making them look like the cartoons from the 80s and 90s. And people don't say anything about that. But when it comes to the Super 7s doing G.I. Joe, it's like, oh, they look like crap. Like, oh, okay. But again, that's the beauty about being a collector. We all collect what we enjoy and what we like.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. It's, you know,
Do you want to?
I don't know.
Do you want to field Linda's question? Because
exactly what film? Oh, the G.I. Joe, the movie, the 1987 one, the cartoon.
Oh, okay, right.
Not the one where Duke supposedly went on a coma. Like, oh, he's in a coma. Oh, like, how'd you know he went in a coma? Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that movie either, the animated one. So, good
I
question.
think it's the best one out of all of them, to be honest. The three other live action ones.
Is
Chuckles a? I think no. The one that was a cop was a Law and Order or Law. He was a military police. Chuckles, I don't think he was. If he was more like a detective, I believe.
Oh, so he's a PI.
He's like he's your what are they called? Miami Vice. He looks like your Miami Vice.
He's a drug enforcement agent. So, but a policeman. He's a vice man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vice man. So,
Been mostly collecting Retro Turtles only first wave. See. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I'm very happy with what they're doing, what they're coming out with. I was so on this PG, I was so happy. They are bringing out Hot Toys is bringing out the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man from No Way Home now.
Yes.
And I'm definitely gonna pre-order that sucker because I already have the Peter Parker. Well, sorry, they're all Peter Parkers. Shoot. I have the Tobey Maguire already on pre-order.
What are you saying?
I know, Peter Parker. I have the Tobey Maguire one already pre-ordered. I already have a Tom Holland Spider-Man. I have the Doc Ock pre-ordered. I have the Electro pre-ordered. Green Goblin pre-ordered, and now finally we get to see Andrew Garfield, and it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna get that one, definitely a pre-order, and then the Lizard is gonna be a pre-order. I'm like, heck yeah, super happy about that. Now all they need is the freaking Sandman hot toy figure to come out for No Way
Oh,
Home.
you're talking about the Hot Toys. You're talking about Hot Toys.
Yes, I'm talking about Hot Toys.
Oh, okay, right. I don't collect those because too expensive. um, oh, that's good because I was actually thinking uh, Hasbro Marvel Legends is coming out with a new Doc Ock because they sneakily got something Doc Ock's tentacle in a picture somewhere. So, and that's from the movie. So, um, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, putting that in there. I did not know you were talking about the Hot Toys. Sorry, that's Hot Toys.
Oh,
Everybody.
that's why I said finally Hot Toys is bringing out Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and the Lizard. I mean, I know that Hot Toys are pricey for a lot of people, and but to be honest, I mean, when you just get one Hot Toy, I think you already have your money's worth right there, and that could be any kind of Hot Toy figure. I mean, you can go back with RoboCop, Terminator, the Predators. They're just very detailed and very beautiful. I mean, like the package themselves. I mean, like my Boba Fett with the throne. I haven't even opened them up because, of course, those are big figures, and I don't have a lot of room. As you can see, my room is all trashed up, trying to fix it up. But it just looks beautiful, and I mean, I wasn't collecting a lot of Star Wars Hot Toy figures, but now I am. Because mostly I was collecting all the MCU ones. I really love how the MCUs are looking. So yeah, Hot Toys is really awesome to me. So
Well, the thing is, before we get to Gilsa's comment here, the thing is that they would have to start paying rent if I would probably buy a hot toy. So
well,
that's
I'll tell you this. I'll
mm.
tell you this. You wouldn't have to pay rent because the more Hot Toys you buy, you can actually put them up together and build your own house with the Hot Toys.
Probably, yeah. No, yeah.
He says, I heard Chuckles is Snake Eyes' alternate identity. Every time one was around, the other wasn't around. Well, yeah,
Is that a theory,
kind.
Gilster?
I think, yeah, I think it's a theory that he's right.
Pretty
But
on
then
the head
again,
theory.
yeah, well, see, I got to go back and watch the movie because Chuckles, and that's one of the things that why a lot of people love Chuckles because he played a big role. The ones that actually played a big role was Falcon more, and then it was big what's his name, Big Dubs or whatever, which I was so pissed off because they never made him or Pythona in the 80s. Those were two G.I. Joe figures that they never made in the 80s, and I was like, wait a minute, you did the rest of the other guys, Tunnel Rat, this one, but you never made him? And he was one of the ones that came out and was just, he was like a basketball player type of guy. He was an African American, and he's like, and I get here and shoots, he scores, takedown on Cobra or some. He would always talk sports in the movie, and they never made his figure until later on, like in the 2000s when they made those like G.I. Joe convention ones. He finally came out, but I'm like, all this time you just finally did that. I was like, man.
Okay. Right. All right. What is it? Someone's got here. Gilson's got another thing. Ron Burgundy, would it be a cool hot toy? He is kind of a big deal. Right. So, that would be
Heck
quite a
yeah.
cool. So yeah. What's this?
I caved quick back to Ghost. Good choice.
Great. Can I live vicariously through you, Mark?
I mean, you did awesome on that, bro. I mean, I mean, if I was really big into Star Wars, like the way you guys are, I would have probably backed it. I would have gone and donated my blood and sold a kidney to really get the 500 and really buy it. But as much as I love Rebels and everything, it's just I'm more into Star Wars hot toys than what I am with
Right,
the vintage
right,
collections and stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
that's
don't get me wrong, I've seen them. They're beautiful little figures, but I rather I don't know. I
yeah,
rather
that's
spend a good amount of money on that.
that's fine.
Go
No,
ahead.
honest, I mean, like you said, I mean, we've got to collect what we love to collect, right? So,
Yeah,
um, it's even on a small scale or the large scale. So,
yeah.
mm, the hot toys,
I mean,
don't get me wrong, are very impressive, very impressive. I mean, so um,
I
you
remember
get,
one Comic Con it was San Diego one. PG. They actually had a hot toy TIE fighter.
wow.
It was huge. I was like, wow, that's what she said. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but it was like, wow, like that sucker would. Oh my goodness, it wouldn't even fit back there. It was massive to where they had it in a squared box and plexiglass. I was just like, that must cost like 1,000 something bucks because wow. I mean, yeah.
yeah, but still impressive though, right? I mean, people
Oh
would
yeah.
probably, so, I mean,
I mean, I'll
but
be honest with you. The most I spent on a hot toy was like about 800 bucks, and that was the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster.
where would you put it? Where would you put the bloody thing? Where? I mean,
Well, it's
you know,
it's it's not here right now. I'll tell you that it's in storage because I don't have a lot of
it's,
room.
it's
That
like
sucker is big.
if you're married, JJ, or your wife will be going, no, that's not coming inside.
I'll sneak it in somehow.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do you have all this mess? Oh, it's just coming out of nowhere. I'm taking down stuff and I'll say that. But no, great pick, G-Force. I mean, it's a beautiful piece. You know, finally the HasLab Star Wars team is doing something right. Uh,
At
again, right
last,
now.
at long last.
Wait, well, hey, look. I mean, think about it, PG. I mean, when it came to the lightsaber, which again we both agree that was ridiculous as a HasLab, it only 4,000 something people backed it. And they didn't get the crowd fund. But right now, the Ghost has the same amount of crowd fund from what the lightsaber had.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, usual Mike.
Hey, Pete, and John, and all you lovely people in the chat. Well, how are you, mate? Yeah, we're just actually talking about the ghost and everything else. So thanks
We're
for joining.
actually talking about the two favorite things of usual Mike. It's Star Wars and GI Joe. So he made it on time.
And thanks to usual Mike for actually giving me how much. I probably said this in the conversation anyway. How much it really cost over here. So thank you for that, Mike. Yeah. Because I did actually ask him how much the ghost was if we were to actually get it here. Would be $1,099, and here in Australia it would be $999,
Ooh,
$999. Sorry, so
yeah, that's crazy, but you know. So what would so let me ask you this: how much is the value of a US dollar in New Zealand?
don't ask me that. I wouldn't have a clue, mate.
Oh, you
I'm
wouldn't
not
have a clue.
I'm not good on values and mathematics. So don't do
You know what?
it.
Let's
I'm
see.
useless at that. So
That's okay. I don't have sympathy for my brain. That's why we have Google now. So
it's just
just like Linda said, she don't have sympathy for anybody. The robots are coming around. I don't have
oh,
sympathy
really?
for my brain.
It's just like don't ask me those questions, please, because I wouldn't have the foggiest idea. Yeah, so, that's
What
why
do
I got
y'all
a
call the? Is it the
my
New
feeling.
Zealand dollar? Is that what it is?
Yeah, New Zealand dollar. Yep.
New Zealand dollar.
So yeah.
So your New Zealand dollar, if it was a U.S., well, it seems like it's your New Zealand dollar is a lot better than. Well, no, I think the U.S. dollar would be okay because for each dollar you would have $1.62 in New Zealand dollars.
Yeah. So again, JJ, that means little to me. It makes me no sense in my brain. So I'm just saying that we do have exorbitant price hikes because it's got something to do with our GST and something to do with your GST is different. So yeah, that's all I know. So
You said how much
oh,
was it for the
here we
ghost over
go.
there?
Whoops, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thanks, usual
Oh,
one.
thank you.
He's onto it.
You said how much?
1099. So
1099.
yeah,
So you would need $678.03 for the United States dollar to actually get.
yeah, right.
So that's a lot more than just
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Mike. Um, so it's yes, it's crazy, crazy, but it's we can't do much about it. I'm sorry to say, we just can't really do much about it. It's we don't have Hasbro Pulse here. We
Yeah,
don't
I
we
was gonna
can't
ask.
we can't even get a Hasbro Pulse Lycan
Yeah,
anyway. Hasbro's
yeah,
account here anyway. So because they've actually blocked it off, they don't produce it here in New
yeah.
Zealand, right? So
I was gonna say either way, you don't have that. Neither
yeah,
does Australia, correct?
I think so. I'm not talking to Mike might know or Linda might know. I don't know. So I'll leave it to them to answer that because I don't know.
Okay.
They may do or they may not do. So um,
So how do
yeah.
you mostly get your collections? Do you use like
Okay.
I mean, like eBay or Amazon or any of that? Well, I mean, what do you all
Oh, I
have
mean,
over there?
I shop at Big Bad Toy Store sometimes, which is
Okay,
good.
Big Bad Toy Store.
Um, yeah, I like Big
How
Bad
about
Toy Store.
a how about
Um,
Entertainment Earth?
yeah, I still yet to get things from Entertainment Earth from there.
Okay,
I've got some things in cart, JJ, on Entertainment Earth. Um, uh, a
Game.
Toy Snowman in Canada is pretty good.
How
Um,
about GameStop?
GameStop's great. I like GameStop. EB Games here. So
Okay,
um, uh, uh, we've had a few good Black Series come in at the moment. I've got a
cool.
um, uh, yeah. I actually do some little toy hunts in my area of the woods sometimes.
Cool.
Pick up some good things. We don't get them as fast as you get them there in the
Well,
states.
I
So
hate to say this, but
um,
here somebody can have a figure already, and we don't get that figure until like 6 months later here and where I live. So I know
yeah,
how you feel.
yeah.
I know how you feel.
Distribution is crap sometimes. So
Yeah. She's
uh,
Linda said no polls there in Australia. It sucks.
oh yeah, there we go. Where was that? Missed that. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Underneath. What's Mike say? Mike is saying EV Games, GameStop will have to help us out, but they take a nice cut of the. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
So
of course. Wow, that's sad.
yeah. Um,
Man.
yeah. What's that? G? What the heck is that? What are you doing? Damn. Damn. Is it? Are you there?
Damn.
Oh, damn. Okay. I thought you were
Damn.
singing.
Yeah, but damn.
I thought you were singing the Beetlejuice song. Dale. Dale. Sorry. um, yeah. Okay, dokey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah.
where we're at with this HasLab.
Uh,
So they have 4,605. That's not bad at all. You're at 57.56%. and you still have 46 days left. Not bad at all.
I guess if we did have Hasbro Pulse, and if over here, and because we've got some really diehard kind of action figure 3 3/4 and Australians as well, being Usual Mike and stuff like that. I guess we would back it. I guess we would be in the fray of backing it. So.
Oh, usual. I don't want to speak for usual Mike, but
No, I don't.
I feel
Sorry,
that
I shouldn't either. But
I have a feeling he would back it if it goes if Pulse was in Australia. I don't know about Linda. Maybe Linda would too. I mean it is kind of pricey, but again, I always tell people this. Maybe 500, but if you guys only have 20,000 people that have crowdfunded it, only 20,000 people are going to have it. So it makes it more valuable because it's not a lot of supply in there. Yeah, go ahead.
It's getting harder to see me. Our low light and winter time is going.
Oh, no. It's okay. So, we were able to see you. Everything's white there. Boom. You stand out.
Sorry.
Ed 5 says he will 1,000% be back in it. Sweet.
Well, you can get one for me, Dan. But no,
I'm actually glad. Yeah, go ahead.
This year I think we're coming off we've come out of the pandemic, but I think it's really good to actually see. There's tons of people on YouTube at the moment posting their posts with SDCC Con, so which is really fantastic.
Yeah,
I think so. I think to be quite honest, I think Ghosty is right. Chris is right. I think they do have a D23. They should actually just keep D23 and then keep SDCC cons and ICC cons and Joe Fests to be more of action figure orientated. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know what you think, JJ. But
I'm fine with it. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. I mean, if they decide to not put any MCU or any kind of Disney movies in San Diego Comic-Con and their panels anymore, and they're going to do it in D23, I'm fine with that. I mean, there's still other stuff out there that we could get to see in San Diego Comic-Con. A good example is like your DC movies, Transformer movies, or anything that's else is pop culture that they're going to say, hey, you know what, we're going to show a trailer on this, and I think that's great. And of course, Disney can do whatever they want. I mean, if you're doing your own Comic-Con in a way, that's awesome. It's awesome because then you just focus on what you need to focus on that belongs to you instead of going out there with others, and then you have to how do I say it? Like you have to organize the way you're gonna have to organize yourself with other people, like other companies, and then you have a certain time. And with D23, it's like, okay, we have all the time in the world. We can talk about Star Wars all day and nobody can stop us. And then the next day, we can talk about Marvel and nobody's going to stop us, So they have it made. And then, if you can get a lot of these, once the strike is over and all that, you get all these people back to have Q&As, even better.
And you could actually say we've actually nearly bookended this whole conversation, which has been a good conversation. So
has been great.
The thing is that it's been fun, JJ. Should we just leave it there? So because
sure,
talk about and stuff like that. So I know people. It's been a little bit shorter. We usually go over 2 hours, 3 hours long, but nevertheless, I mean, do you want to fill the guys in who have now joined us about doing this now fortnightly, and so
Sure.
so go
Sure.
for it.
So PGM and I are going to discuss a little bit more about it, but I think we're both in agreements. Nerd talk from the other side of the world. We want it to be a little bit more of a regular thing. So we believe that we're going to be doing this. Do you want? We'll probably talk about the day. We always do it on Fridays, but we're thinking about it doing it every 2 weeks, just to just catch up with you guys and to
Yeah,
give us
yeah,
y'all's opinions as well, what y'all think of what we're discussing. Of course, nobody's ever wrong in this. So far, we've been 5 out of 5. We've never disagreed on anything. We've always
well,
agreed on everything. So I think that's
yeah,
what's awesome about it, and then that's what we want.
yeah,
But at the same time, what's awesome is that you guys in the chat, some of y'all don't agree with what we say, and you give us your opinion, and we kind of understand your opinion, and we like that, and that's
yeah.
what we want. We want
In the green room,
everybody to have their opinion, huh?
in the green room, we always poo-poo you. No, just kidding. Okay. So continue, JJ.
Oh, he's just kidding. No, we don't poo poo you. um, no, we just we like the opinions, and as long as we get along, and you know we're not gonna cancel anybody. That's the beautiful thing. We're not gonna cancel anybody. So it's just good fun to talk about
Maybe
what's
Dan.
going
We could
on.
cancel Dan. Maybe, you know.
Well, maybe you cancel him. I'm not gonna cancel.
Just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
Dan. He wants to cancel you because he wants you to get him to go. So that's all.
I've got a blue beetle coming from Dan very, very soon at McFarlane. So
Oh, hey, you know what? We got to discuss about that in 2 weeks because I'm already hearing that there's bad reviews about Blue Beetle.
the
So
movie. I'm
yeah.
just yeah. I mean, no, Dan
Or,
is
are you talking about a Volkswagen?
Dan is sending me the comic book version of Blue Beetle. I think hopefully he is.
Which one? The modern
Uh,
one or the old school one?
no, Ted Cord. Ted
Okay,
Cord's Blue
okay.
Beetle. Because
All
there's a
right.
new
I
one.
like that. Yeah.
But no, we'll discuss that. Yeah, Blue Beetle. Yeah, we'll discuss that in DC. Yeah, so next time.
We'll
Um,
discuss about that too in the next one, Gilster, because I know it came out today, but
Oppenheimer
I won't
too.
get the chance.
Yeah. So yeah. But
If we have to, we'll discuss about Barbie too. Who cares?
yeah, yeah. We'll leave all that for the next one. Yeah. So we're going to have something to talk about. So we can't talk about it all.
Yeah.
uh,
No, but great
anyway,
talk. Great talk,
yeah,
PG. Great talk.
so a little bit shorter, like I said, but we will make this again a good thing, because it is a good thing. So, uh, oh, what's this?
Gotcha.
What? Yeah.
Hey, PG, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's the ghost, man.
What's it? Who needs a sheet when I have a hobbit? All right, so what? I'm just getting through some of these comments. The new Mission Impossible is a great way. So I don't know what that is about. So, okay, ladies and gents.
Agreed, Linda. Agreed.
Thank you very much for joining New
Thank
Talk
you.
from the Other Side of the World with JJ and PGM. And it's been good to actually talk with you today and tonight. So, and here's
Thank
something
you.
to taste, little taste buds. Here we go. New Talk with JJ and PGM. Remember that? So that's a little bit of a tag. So I had to get that. I had to get that in, JJ. I'm sorry, I had to get that in.
That's a good way to go. Good way to go.
So remember, we're doing. I'm not gonna. JJ just said. So anyway, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. It's been good. We'll catch you in 2 weeks' time, right?
Yes, 2 weeks
Okay.
time. It'll be 2 weeks time.
All right, guys. Anyway, take care. Thank you very much. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it now. God bless you all.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.